almost 15 or 20 years working the same thing. A lot of challenges, and we thanks TUED with the whole team. We thanks Fernando Lopes from CNM CUT Brazil. Unconditionally, they invite us to take part of this team. Let me tell you that in Africa we have 5 countries who speak Portuguese as official language, right? So up to now, I think we are pioneer. Our duty is, of course, to spread this information to other Portuguese country speakers. I'm talking about Angola, Cape Verde, Guinea-Bissau, São Tomé and Príncipe, and the other ones, maybe I forget. São Tomé and Príncipe. So, this is Africa. We are lucky because our presentation at this moment is actually there is similarity which we heard in the morning. So I will not elaborate too much. We succeed, or we elaborate by a slide, and that slide I will share all of you. You will see the information during this workshop. Maybe we can exchange ideas or some questions within these 2 or 3 days. I will just summarize. Then my 15 minutes, maybe my colleagues they can take it. But let me tell you that Mozambique is there, almost 1 hour by flight to Johannesburg. Is not far from here. And the population in total, we are talking about around 32 million, right? 32 million of inhabitants. And these 32 millions, I'm telling you that just 30% they are living in the urban area. Those who are living in urban area, they don't have, of course, a good energy. Let me tell you that 75% of urban population has electricity. If you look at 30% of the population at the urban area, just those 30%, just 75% they have electricity. The rest of the population, we're talking 7% are in the rural area, but just 5% they have power, they have energy. Energy is not of quality. Energy is very expensive as well. Even the people who don't have, if they come some project to extend power to them, they say, I don't have money for paying this unless government, they're gonna support us. We have a legal, of course, legal framework in the country. That legal framework, it was revised in 2022, taking into account aspects related to production, distribution, transmission, consumption, and storage of electricity, including export and import. Let me tell you that in the region we are exporting energy to South Africa, Zimbabwe, Eswatini, most of the country in the region we are giving the power, but luckily up to now it's controlled by government. Within the trade union movement, in the current moment, we are actually trying to build a task force within the electricity union and other value chain unions. We are talking about transport, mining union, and the chemical as well. But I think we internally we need to build more, strengthen more our internal reflection about this approach regarding electricity as well. Not only, in case of Mozambique, we don't have a specific, we don't have representation in the parliament as Uganda, right? And there is a consultative forum which just, they don't have decision for deciding anything, but unfortunately, the issues regarding energy, we never take to that forum in order to be debated. I think, first of all, if we take the internal research to see the really numbers, the population who are benefiting of that energy, the real problem that they're facing, to spread those information, then at the end to elaborate more strategy how to move forward. But issues regarding privatization, it's coming step by step, but not in higher in terms of higher level. So I think it's the first thing I would like to share with all of you, and if there is a question, we can socialize that document. We can share all of us. Then we can debate. Thank you.
Thank you, Aldo. Next, we'll move quickly on to Edmund. Are you speaking in French?
Good afternoon, comrades. I would like to first of all thank TUED for extending the invitation to Public Utilities Workers Union of TUT to participate in this all-important event. Public Utility Workers Union, we organize workers in the electricity distribution sector of Ghana, then in water, and also in state housing. But our main focus at the moment is with the largest electricity distribution company in Ghana, that we call Electricity Company of Ghana. So if you look at this, Ghana is divided into two parts in terms of electricity distribution. The largest part is the southern zone. That's where we operate. We have the northern sector where the Northern Electricity Department Company takes over. So my concentration will not be limited to where we have organized, but the entire Ghana arrangement. Thank you. Okay, my presentation will have 4 levels. The first of all, we'll look at electrification status in terms of access. We'll look at the sources of electricity generation. We'll look at the challenges we face as utility companies. Then we end by looking at the pathways, the public pathways to achieving 100% access. So for Ghana, my analysis will be based on, the first part will be based on Ghana's 2021 population and housing census, and that of 2010 and that of 2000. So if you look at this document, you observe that from the year 2000 to the year 2021, household access to electricity, I mean the national grid, has increased by almost 100%, from 43.8% in 2000 to 86.3% in 2021. And with this, if you look at the regional urban distribution, the rate is higher in the urban centers, representing 95.2%. So what it means is that urban residents in Ghana, 95% of them at least have access to electricity, or they're able to meet the electricity demands, while 72.6% of the rural dwellers also have same access. What has made this possible? In Ghana, electricity arrangement is purely public. The supply chain, electricity supply chain is purely public. The distribution, the transmission are strictly public arrangement. But with the production or the generation, we have private participation. That's where we have the IPPs, just like other sister countries. Then, there was a project that we call Rural Electrification Project. That started way back in the 70s, but it died off along the line. But from the year 2000 onward, it was revisited. And this revision came with a target of 70% electrification by the year 2020. And thank God, we've been able to achieve this target. And I want to emphasize again that this has been possible because of the state dominance. No private sector investor, especially the external ones, will go into rural electrification. If you look at the population in the rural areas, the income levels especially, there's no motivation for them. So this is what has made this electrification rate possible. Then we are also looking at it from the tariffs arrangement. It will interest you to know that with the electricity companies in Ghana, they don't determine their tariffs. We have a national body that we call Public Utility Regulatory Commission that determines utility tariffs for all the companies, including water. So what has happened? Our understanding is that if there were private sector participation, this lower rate would not be possible because of their profiteering agenda. But because it's a state arrangement, the welfare is always paramount. This year, last year, September, the companies submitted their proposals for adjustment increase. The highest they could get was 25%. But in fact, they fought, depending on the circumstances, the kind of exchange rate differences, then they were granted that. It also made it possible for the rural people to do that. There's what we call cross-subsidy, where those who have income can consume more, end up subsidizing for low-income categories. Now we are looking at the sources of electricity generation. We have three main sources: the thermal, the hydro, and the renewables. In fact, the renewable component, the share of it in the total generation is very negligible, 0.2%, which is something we cannot even mention anywhere. But we are getting about 62.8% from thermal and 37% from hydro in terms of distribution of the generation. And basically, what do they use in this generation? We use crude oil, natural gas, and diesels. Somebody asks, are they clean? That's also another source of confusion. Some people are saying we need electricity. Why are you questioning whether it is clean or not?